Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching our session on why should I fundraise as part of the VHI Women's Mini Marathon. My name is Clara and I work at the GivenGain Foundation. I've been at the GivenGain Foundation for 3 years now. And with us, we've got Shona. Shona, please introduce yourself.
Hiya, Clara. Yeah, my name is Shona Neary. I undertook the VHI Women's Mini Marathon last year virtually. It was probably my first time to it was my first time to undertake the mini marathon, but also to kind of try and fundraise on a larger scale and to fundraise online. Previously, my fundraising experience would have been really just the likes of sponsored walks and cake sales, etc. at school in school days. So yeah, last year was my kind of first experience with fundraising through an online platform.
Lovely. We can't wait to ask you how you found it. And just a quick question before we start. Do you think you'll participate again this year in the VHI Women's Mini Marathon?
Yeah, well, I've been told already. My team have told me I am. So there's no definite plans or preparation just yet. We're a bit behind, but that's what I've been told anyway. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Lovely. Good luck. Good luck with the training. So a little bit about us for those of you who don't know who GivenGain is. So GivenGain, we're a fundraising platform for charities. We were founded in 2001, and since then we've been helping charities in over 100 countries to raise funds for their causes. And we're very proud to be partnering with the VHI Women's Mini Marathon. It's our third year with them, yes. And so far, fundraisers like yourself have raised more than 750,000 for charities on the platform. And we can't wait for this edition. So yeah, let's dive in. So fundraising so far. So far, there's been over 35,000 euros raised for Irish charities. I think I checked last time this morning. And it's really incredible to see like how many fundraisers there are and for how many different charities. Yeah. What about yourself, Shona? Like what charity did you do it for?
So last year we did our fundraising for the charity Cree. They're a heart foundation in the west of Ireland. So they weren't a charity I was really aware of until very close to before the mini marathon. We decided to do the mini marathon literally 10 days before it was due to run or happen. I was literally sitting in my kitchen spoon feeding my 8-month-old baby her lunch, and I heard on the radio on Today FM that the mini marathon was coming up and that it was been run virtually last year, obviously on the back of COVID. So at that time last year, just maybe about 2 weeks previously, my aunt had suffered a major cardiac event, and her family were being massively supported by the charity Cree. And I literally, as I said, didn't know anything or know of the charity Cree before this. So that's, I suppose, why we decided to do the mini marathon. We very much felt at the time, I suppose, when that type of thing happens in your family, you want to help out, and it can be very difficult to help out. And especially with COVID last year, there was so little that you could actually do. And I just immediately thought the fact that the marathon was being run virtually, that this was something we could maybe do to help and to support our family and to support the charity that were being so instrumental in them coping with the event that had happened to their family and helping them get my aunt back on the road to recovery.
Thank you so much for sharing the story. Yeah, that actually leads us to the first point, which is that, like, you know, doing good feel great, and it's a great way to find motivation, and we all want to help out or give back, especially when it's someone that's so close to our hearts, like a family, and there's the charity that's helping out. So yes, running for a charity and giving, sort of dedicating the run to them can make you feel great and yeah, sort of make you feel better about yourself. I don't know if this is something that you experienced as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And because, as I said, it allowed us to do something to help her, to support. It certainly gave us a lift. So there was myself, two of my sisters and a cousin. So there was the four of us were doing the marathon together and the fundraiser. But it gave us something positive to focus on. And also I know, like my aunt's family, like her children and her husband, like it gave them a lift as well to see the donations coming in and the positive messages that were coming in with those donations as well. So and it was in the very early stages of my aunt's illness. So I suppose, yeah, it was something that really went a long way to bring a little bit of positivity to what was happening at the time.
Yes, exactly. And before I turn onto the screen, we also see that we also asked another fundraiser who couldn't join us today, but she just like sent us her answers. And she said that, yeah, she also was raising funds for a charity that supports actually her family as well, because her daughter was diagnosed with an illness. And she was just saying that it feels nice to be able to give back to a charity that provides essential services. So yeah, it's that feeling of being happy and getting motivated, because I don't know if you love running, if you love and hate running, but it can be hard finding the motivation to train. And sometimes we find that, knowing that you're doing it for charity sort of helps you with that, just getting up earlier before work to go and train. What about for you, Shona? How did running for charity help you with that motivation to keep it going?
Yeah, it absolutely did. I suppose, especially once we committed and we put it out there, we had to commit to it and follow through. As I said, we only decided like 10 days before the marathon to do it, so we didn't give ourselves much time at all to prepare. But once we'd signed up to it, we got out there and started doing a little bit of training and practice, and just to see what we were capable of, and so we could make an actual plan for the day of the run itself. Yeah, also just, I suppose, the fact that there was a couple of us signed up together, doing it together, that we were able to motivate each other too. And even though we were in some different time zones within the team, I suppose I encouraged the other girls to send on updates, like send on photographs and just take selfies out running and what have you. And just to kind of help motivate each other, to keep each other going and make sure we were getting out there and doing our bit of practice and getting ready and getting prepared for it.
Yes, and you said that one of them was in Sydney and the other one in
London. So Dublin, London, Sydney, and then my home county, Roscommon, my cousin was based there.
Wow, that's lovely. An international team, all supporting the same cause.
Yeah, it added a bit more novelty to it for us, I suppose, as well. So yeah.
And I guess also seeing the work firsthand that the charity was doing with the family, with your family member, that also provided you with some extra motivation.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no question. Like I said, I didn't know anything really about the charity, or didn't even know of them before our family had to use their services. But really they were instrumental in my aunt recovering, pretty much back to her full health. Cree, as I said, they're a heart foundation, and they provide all sorts of educational services for people who have had cardiac events, or just to advise people how they can live a healthier life to look after their heart better. But they also have accommodation in Galway. They have apartments that are close to the hospital, and that allowed my family to be by my aunt's bedside every single day for 6 weeks after her cardiac event. And the doctors themselves said that she wouldn't have made such an amazing recovery had her family not been there with her day by day, helping her recover and rehabilitate. And if the apartments weren't there that were provided by Cree for my family to stay in, they wouldn't have been able to be there every day. I mean, it's not a great road from Roscommon to Galway, and it's an hour and a half drive each way. And my family, it just wouldn't have been sustainable for them. So having the accommodation on site there beside the hospital made a huge difference to them and allowed them to provide that support. So it was totally instrumental in allowing my aunt to make a full recovery.
Definitely, and that brings us to the next step. Like, it's so important to raise much needed funds for these charities, because in your case, this accommodation costs money, or in the case of Stephanie, the other fundraiser, the treatments cost money, and there's so many good charities out there doing fantastic jobs, but they need money to be able to keep doing their services. And COVID-19 has taken a toll on how much they raise, because as well, like so many of the events were cancelled. It was really nice that the VHI Women's Mini Marathon still continued to go on, even if it was in a virtual format, because that allowed all these charities to keep on receive this source of income, which is so vital. So yeah, thanks guys for doing it, and for doing it for a charity. Just before I move on to this screen, I believe, how much did you raise? Was it like 5,000?
Yeah, just over 5,000 euro. Yeah, so we set out with a goal of 500 euro, and I think we had achieved our goal within like a couple of hours from once we launched the page, or our campaign. So we went on then, yeah, to raise 5,000 euro in a very short space of time. I suppose just maybe around, I think around 3 weeks after we decided to start to do the marathon, about a week or a week and a half after we had done it. But at that point we had raised the 5,000 euro. So yeah, we were blown away, completely blown away. But yeah, I guess our campaign was very personal to us, and lots of people obviously wanted to support. So yeah, we were blown away by how well we did so quickly.
Yeah, that's incredible. 5,000 is a lot, and it can go a long way. And it's so true what you say, that sometimes when like people create fundraising projects, we see that they set like very shy targets, and then after 2 hours they're like increasing it to the double, because it can be quite overwhelming in a very positive way when like family members and friends are donating, and you're like, oh, I thought we were only going to raise 500, but here we go, it's 5,000.
Yeah, and it was great. We were delighted with it. Yeah.
And basically also a great thing about when one creates a fundraising project for a charity on GivenGain is that, apart from the fact that it's super easy, then you'll be sharing it with family and friends, and most likely using social media channels. So that can be Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. And what's great is that you're also increasing awareness of what the charity does. But if you're doing it for like, I don't know, an animal shelter, you're like increasing awareness of the problematic, or if it's for an illness, of that problematic. So it's also great to not only raise funds, but increase that awareness. And on that note, Shona, so how did you do it? How did you find it communicating on social media? Do you have any tips or tricks?
Yeah, I suppose, well, we started out with texting everybody we knew, or anyone we felt comfortable asking for money, and sent them on the link to our campaign page. And then we used Facebook and Instagram after that. So as I said, I was getting the girls to send me selfies and some pictures of them getting out in their gear, training and practicing and preparing for the marathon, and just using apps to put those pictures into like a one-shot kind of collage. And posting it then with updates on Facebook and Instagram. I had never posted a story, I don't think, ever on Instagram previously, so there was a learning curve there. But posting it on Instagram, a story on Instagram, which, you know, there's lots of features on Instagram around, you know, adding music to it and various flashing lights and various effects, text you can put it across, and graphics you can put across your post. So we did that every couple of days. Like, I didn't want to bombard people, but at the same time I wanted to keep it fresh in people's minds, and posting a link then along with the post to our campaign page on GivenGain as well. So it was just to keep it fresh in people's minds. I mean, people always have good intentions. Oh, I must go in there and make a donation, and obviously people's lives are busy and it slips their minds. So as I said, I didn't want to bombard people, but just to keep it fresh in people's minds for the kind of couple of weeks in the run up to the marathon. And I would share that then on Facebook as well. And I guess I just wanted to kind of get across to people too that none of us were seasoned athletes. So I mean, really taking on a 10K was quite an undertaking for each of us in our own way, with various levels of fitness. And my sister in Sydney in the height of the heat, you know, it was a challenge for us, I suppose. What I would really want to get across to people in our updates and our posts on social media as well, that it was a challenge for us. And yeah, I suppose that helped people to see what we were trying to do, and that it was an undertaking for us, and to support us in that. So yeah, we put together then pictures from when we finished as well. Again, the fact that it was virtual. So with our finish line ribbons that were sent out to us by the mini marathon, and we just kind of put that up at the end with a couple of updates in the week after the mini marathon, just so people could see as well, that we had completed it. And I suppose that people were getting the updates. If they had made a donation, they were getting the updates from the page. And they were seeing how much further we had come with fundraiser after they had maybe made their donation as well. So yeah, that was kind of mainly the strategy we had. And as I said, word of mouth. My aunt lives in my home county in Roscommon, so it was she'd be very well known in the locality, and it was very personal for us, obviously, but it was very personal for people at home as well, because they knew my aunt quite well, and my mother was out there telling everyone locally as well, and was our remote campaign manager nearly as such locally in our home community. So very much the word of mouth, and then using social media was the angle that we took.
No, that sounds lovely. And what I really liked that you said is also like this balance that you had to find between not bombarding people, but still being on people's faces and reminding them that they need to donate. Because I think sometimes we might feel a bit like self-conscious. Oh, maybe I'm bombarding them too much. But actually, if you do it once every couple of days, as you mentioned, and you sort of post content that it's a little bit different, the collages that you were saying, or with the music that you were saying, it comes across as new content, and people, as you say, they're well-intentioned, they want to donate. It's just that everyone has busy lives, and sometimes it might just slip our minds. So it's a nice reminder to put it out there on social media and just be like, hey, we're really struggling with our training. Look how much I'm struggling. Make a donation here. And yes, with GivenGain's sharing functionalities, it's just so easy to either from your campaign page share it anywhere, or then, as you were saying, on Instagram or Facebook, it's a matter of like copying the URL, pasting it there, and then allowing people to click on it to make a quick donation.
Yeah.
The next one is the whole topic, the fifth reason why you should fundraise is the topic of like gaining a support network, which is what you were mentioning just now as well, how overwhelmingly nice it is to receive all this support from like family and friends who are donating. And I also created my fundraising project like a year ago, and I found it really nice that sometimes you get donations from people that you wouldn't expect, and that's quite a nice feeling, like that old friend from uni or from school that you weren't expecting to donate, and then suddenly you get that donation. I don't know if that also happened to you, that you felt like you were gaining a support network in that way, and that you were getting the sort of love from the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we received donations from people that we didn't, like ourselves, the four of us on the team, that we didn't know directly ourselves. So I had asked, obviously, family to pass the word on as well. So I know there was an ex-colleague of my brother's saw the campaign and he donated, which wouldn't have expected whatsoever, but people, I suppose, lots of people encounter all these challenges in their own lives, whether it's themselves or their own family members, and I suppose it just rings true with them when other people are running a campaign to support particular charities for various life events that they've encountered. So it strikes a chord, I guess, with people. So yeah, we definitely got donations from people we wouldn't have expected to. I also, actually, one other thing I got in contact with the local community pages, Facebook pages, back in Roscommon, in my hometown, because again, as I said, my aunt would be very well known. So there was people, like, especially because of COVID, but the fact I'm based in Dublin, there was people I knew would like to donate that I wasn't going to be able to reach, physically, but personally, face to face. And as I said, especially because of COVID as well. So I got in contact with local community Facebook pages, and I asked them to post about our campaign as well. So I wrote a post for them and provided them with the link so that it was reaching other people in the locality that I knew would want to support the campaign as well. So yeah, seeing donations coming in from those people as well, I knew that they were supporting my aunt in her recovery, not just our run as well. So
yeah, no, and that's such a good idea. Posting it on Facebook groups, if you've got like connections in the radio, or influencers, or like a blog, wherever you can get it out, that can give you more visibility to the project. That's always really nice, and again, a really nice way to gain a support network.
yeah.
And then moving to the point number 6, as you were saying, like 10K is a challenge, and it can be something different for many of us. And doing it for charity is also a way to even add another dimension to doing this something different. And I don't know about you, but sometimes, when you're about to take a challenge, you just feel like lazy about it. But then actually, once you set it, once you commit to it, and you put a goal, you put a deadline, and then once you sort of like crush the goal, it just feels so nice. And the VHI Women's Mini Marathon and raising funds for a charity of your choice is such an opportunity to do something different, which will make you feel good, get you motivated, and all of the sort of benefits that we sort of listed before. And maybe Shona, just to ask you, so like, had you run before much, or not really?
No, I wouldn't have been a runner at all. Like because of COVID, I used to go to exercise classes, but because of COVID, they had been shut down. I'd had a baby like 8 months previous, so I was tired, and yeah, there's absolutely no way I was in any way physically prepared to undertake in 10K whatsoever. So there's no question it was a challenge, but I was delighted with myself. Like I had thought, okay, well, I'll do it in one day, but I might break it up into the 2 5K runs and take a break in between. But once I kind of got out there, and as I kind of got towards the end of the first 5K, I just wanted to keep going because I was going okay, I was doing okay, and I was getting text updates on my phone, on WhatsApp, from the other team members who were out running at the same time, and my family. We were all watching what was happening. It was really good that you could track on the app someone doing their run, so you could see how they were getting on, and just as well, nearly a little bit of competition. I was out running at the same time as my cousin, and she definitely would have had a much better fitness level than me, and I was doing okay. I wasn't coming in far behind her, so that kind of buoyed me on to keep going and keep me motivated. But yeah, I was delighted with myself, how I did it in the end, and the time that I did it in. And it felt like a good achievement. I did come home and go to bed then for 2 hours after.
Very well deserved. Very well deserved.
But yeah, like it was good just to do something different. And as I said, I'd had a baby, so I was at home on maternity leave, and yeah, I think it was just something different to do in my personal life at that time as well, when my life was very much based around the usual day-to-day of kids and domestic duties. So it was great to just get out there and do something else and have that bit of network around me, motivating me, and that bit of engagement. And just kind of it also kind of brought some of my family members kind of together in a social way where we hadn't been in contact maybe in a while as well. So there was lots of benefits out of it on the back of it in the end as well, like other than just raising the funds.
Yes, no, absolutely. And the next point is making new friends. I suppose it was hard last year because it was virtual, but at least this year, which it will be in person, charities usually have sort of middays for the fundraisers, and they organize different activities, and then you can meet like other people that are also supporting the same charity as you, and sort of like share tips, just make a connection, and also maybe make friends eventually. because as it says here, maybe you both like running or share a love-hate relationship with it, which might be most likely. I don't know anyone who just loves running without hating it a little bit.
Yeah, simply, yeah. No, as I said, like it created a new social outlet for me, even though it was virtual. It just meant that this event was happening in my life, and it just was. I had social contact with my sisters and my cousins around something new, I suppose. And yeah, as I said, I was at home a lot of the time, and people are at home a lot of the time now, with working from home. So, and we've lost a lot of social contact, or those of us who continue to work from home. So it is something that you can kind of come together with people, even if it is virtually from a distance. And I suppose, yeah, have a bit of fun around as well.
Absolutely. I've never participated, but I'm excited to try and sign up next year. It looks like such a fabulous event, to be fair. So many women taking the streets in Dublin. Beautiful. Then the eighth point, I think you briefly mentioned, but it can be a really nice way to connect with colleagues as well. Colleagues might be able to donate. It's also at GivenGain, we've got functionalities for corporates. So that means that if you were to do it with your colleagues, we could set up like a page for your team that sort of aggregates all the members of the team, but that still gets reflected on the main VHI Women's Mini Marathon official fundraising page on GivenGain, and that would just be emailing us, and we can help you set up. But yeah, what was your experience with your colleagues? Did they donate? Did they not donate? How did they like say congratulations on Monday after?
Yeah, I suppose, as I said, I was on maternity leave at the time, so and with COVID having separated us all out for some time before that, the connection, I suppose, wasn't there that had been maybe there with colleagues in the workplace. But I did contact colleagues with the link and ask them to donate. All right, and there were donations made from work too. But also, I suppose some people may not be aware, but there's lots of companies will make donations too. So the company I work for, if provided you raise a certain amount of money, they'll make a donation of a certain amount too. So I applied for that and got a donation, a corporate donation as well. So just in terms of the workplace, people just should look into that too. And even if there isn't a charity scheme there, it's always worth asking the boss, I think. Anyway, you know, for a few quid to donate to. But yeah, I suppose it's we've all become a bit distanced, or a lot of us have, working from home now, and we've lost those events that we used to have maybe in the workplace, in the office, where we were doing cake sales or casual close day, dress down days, raffles, those kind of things that we used to happen in the workplace. And with people not in the office any longer, in a lot of cases, the opportunity for those fundraisers have been lost. So I guess this is where these type of events are, I think, probably more important than ever now, where you can carry out a campaign virtually and target people virtually, because we just don't have that face-to-face opportunity any longer.
Yeah, definitely. And what you were saying about companies making like a donation, we see that a lot on GivenGain. And as you say, even if your business doesn't have that yet, do ask the boss for a few quid, because what we see a lot is one-to-one matching. So they'll match whatever you've raised, but that's quite generous. But you know, there's also like smaller amounts that they can give without having to commit as much. And yeah, just touching upon what you've said about like being distant, running together can also be a nice way to sort of create that team building effect, and running together, maybe for the same charity, maybe for a different charity. And the leaderboard keeps it a bit competitive, just like friendly competition that we were saying, that it's good as well. So yeah, that can be quite a nice idea to engage colleagues, employees, etc. And then finally, I don't know how you found it, but we like to think that setting up a fundraising project on GivenGain is really easy. It takes maybe 30 seconds. And then if you want to personalize it, you can add a picture, or you can add a video. But it's really just 8 clicks. We tried to count the clicks once, and it's 8 clicks. So it's very, very straightforward. Shona, what was your experience? Did you find it quite easy to set up?
Yeah, it was simple. Yeah, it was very simple to set up. Within a matter of minutes, I had the page set up and was texting out the link to people. So yeah, it was very simple, and it was very simple to go in and put up updates as well with you know, pictures or just an update on how we've been getting on and where we were at. So yeah, I suppose I'm not the type of person that I hate asking people for anything, whether it's a favor, even though I'd obviously give a favor back to anyone without a second thought. I hate asking people for anything, and especially money. But yeah, I just thought, well, you know, even if we raise €500, it's something. But it's amazing how I suppose how normal it has become. I think it's because of crowdfunding and online fundraiser platforms. It has become very normal for people to ask for money, even for strangers. I mean, I was asking for fundraising to support the charity on the back of my aunt being unwell in the locality at home. But there's lots of friends that donated who wouldn't be from that area and wouldn't know my aunt. And I think we all get sent. Every couple of months we get sent a link asking would we like to donate to a fundraiser campaign. I think it's the online platforms have taken away maybe a lot of the kind of embarrassment or taboo that we used to feel around asking for money of people. So yeah, I wouldn't be as hesitant in the future. I think it's become much more normal, and as I said, I think that kind of taboo or embarrassment around it has gone away. So I guess I'd say anyone thinking about doing it, I wouldn't hesitate. All the worst thing can happen is people will ignore your request, you know. So
Yeah.
and those that don't will make a donation, and every penny counts and is a plus. So
Exactly, it's as you say. And here's the events fundraising page on GivenGain. We can see that there's a little description. There's a leaderboard with the top fundraisers. Jessica on the lead. You can see how many fundraisers already, 194, who've reached 20 countries, and they're going to support 261 charities. So the way it works is you would just click on start fundraising, and that would direct you to a page where you need to choose the charity that you want to do it, introduce your name, your email address, and then afterwards you would have a project like this one. And we can also take the opportunity to show your project, if you don't mind, Shona.
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. So this is her project. As you can see, she added a little description, 3 for Croy, myself and my sisters. And then she continues, she explains why she's raising funds. Again, she set a target of 1,500 and then managed to go beyond it. And then here you can see the sharing functionalities that will allow you to just share it with anyone. People would then just click on donate, and in less than 30 seconds, there would be a donation made reflecting on their page, and people can leave their messages of support, like Sinead, better late than never, well done. And then they can make updates, which are really nice as well, because they keep the donors engaged and remind them. Oh, those are the collages that you were speaking of. They look really good.
Yeah, so just I just got the girls to send me on pictures and screenshots then of their times from the app, from the VHI app, Mini Marathon app, and put it into a collage just so people could see. It's just to prove to people that we followed through on what we committed to do. So yeah, we just had a couple of updates like that as we were out doing our training and on the day then as well.
Lovely, it looks really nice. And you got 142 donations. That's a lot. Well done, well done. That really reflects yeah, the effort that you put in, and also that you shared the story, you know, like from your heart, and that people were really keen to support you.
Yeah, and like I didn't actually, like during the campaign, I never mentioned my aunt because she was quite unwell at the time, and I just, you know, we weren't sure how good her recovery was going to be, and I just at the time didn't want to make a spectacle as such of her, I suppose, or but I never mentioned her. But I very much focused on I did mention, you know, supporting our family, the charity, but I also very much focused on the fact that the charity is so important in the west of Ireland, I suppose, and it is a charity that, as I became more aware of, when I became more aware of the charity, that it's a charity that people in the locality at home, or back down in Roscommon, are more than likely going to end up availing of, or quite a few people will, because unfortunately rates of heart attack in Ireland are quite high. And I'm very conscious that I live in Dublin, and there's always the perception that Dublin gets everything and the rest of Ireland don't get anything. So I very much kind of focused the campaign on the fact that I was doing this to support the local community at home, that it was a vital service for the local community, that any of them may have to use at any time. So as I said, I didn't really focus too much on my aunt. I just mentioned they were supporting the family. People knew kind of anyways, you know. But I very much tried to drive home that this is a charity that we need to keep in place to support our community and the locality, because unfortunately it's something that a lot of people may end up using. So yeah, I kind of drove home that angle on it, and just to try and make it personal to the people in the area where I felt were probably most likely to donate, you know, as well. So yeah, just try to really make it personal for them. And that it wasn't just about our family.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing, that these services might be needed by any family. So once, I guess, if you feel that that could also happen to you, or that you might also need those services, you will also be more likely to donate.
Yeah.
Shona, thank you so much.
No problem.
Do you have any final words?
I just say give it a go, just go for it. As I said, like, I don't like asking people for money, but you know, people were more than happy to donate. You know, every penny counts for a charity. And again, you know, these are vital services. A lot of these charities are vital services. You know, and especially maybe, as I said, like outside of Dublin, you know, especially around the country, these are vital services for people in maybe more rural areas. And I think the taboo, as I said, around asking people for money really has been diluted a lot with the online donation platforms coming along. So I'd say, yeah, just go for it. There's, you know, every penny is worth it, and it's a lot easier than you think once you get out there, and you will enjoy it.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. It's us two who've done like fundraising projects on GivenGain, yeah, like it's such a like beautiful experience to feel like everyone donating and supporting what you're doing and encouraging you throughout the process of running like a 10K or whatever you're going, whatever the challenge is going to be. In this case, the VHI Women's Mini Marathon. If anyone has any questions, I'll write down my email here, clara@givengain.com. Quite easy, Clara, my name with a C, @givengain.com. And then we'd be more than happy to help you get set up, or if you're not sure about something or anything that you need, just don't hesitate to email. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.
Okay, thanks for having me. Cheers.